It was very hard because of the way it went down. I think we all knew of the potential, but I think a lot of us, even if kind of maybe you're cheering against Rousey, which obviously she has, everyone's going to have haters. You kind of wanted her to do something, to get something going, to make it a little bit more dramatic and exciting, and it was all Amanda Nunes.
Well, I think, but it's so much just deeper than that, because obviously, she took that first loss really hard, and there was a lot of unanswered questions, but there was just not one adjustment made at all. Nothing. If anything, it looked like she went backwards. After the first time she got hit, you knew that first jab, you go, the fight's over.
Yeah.
I mean, the girl looked like, she never got hit before in her life, and I don't know. I just found it like she really needs to talk to somebody. I think, her mother came out with a statement, and there's a couple of things I want to get to, because I think it's important even for her. But, her mother kind of came out with a statement that I agree with, but I think she was still taking shots at everybody. But she kind of said something to, the average person can't even wrap their head around what it's like to just focus on winning and dedicate your whole life to it and all. And that's all good and said and done. And then she kind of said a couple other things. But, I think the problem is when you define yourself just by winning, and you forget about the process of what got you there, and it becomes such a burden to carry. You're always reaching and reaching and reaching. And I think the first time she got hit, she viewed us, she relived that first fight in her head. I mean, it just looked bad. And it's funny because you know what happened last night? They have like at 3:00 in the morning. That's when I'm a little groggy. They had the McGregor Diaz 2 fight, and I got to tell you, man. First off, McGregor, he didn't go into hibernation after that loss. That was devastating for him. He does a lot of shit talking. No, he wanted the rematch. And he came into that fight, he added the leg kicks. That was an adjustment to slow the guy down. The first time he hit adversity, man, I saw that guy regrouping back to the corner, just in his head, trying to relax and just, stay in the moment. You know what I mean? And then his corner did a great job at saying, Conor, look, you've been here before. We've been here. They did a great job of keeping him there. And then, obviously he rallied back. I'm not even saying who won or lost that fight, but you could see there was a process that he wasn't really focused on winning. He was just focused on doing the best he could do. You know what I mean? And staying in there. And it was such a huge difference. When she got hit, it was like, wow, her world crumbled. For what?
Ray, I couldn't agree more. I couldn't agree more because of how he took in the loss, and he faced it right off the bat, whereas Rousey went into hiding. And I totally get what you're saying. I think that was a huge factor. Yeah. How much of the factor, though, do you think is it bad coaching in her preparation, or do you think she had a flashback to her fight against Holm when she got hurt there? So I guess what I'm saying, is it her not able to execute, or is it bad coaching of her not improving in that fight against Nunes?
Well, I got to tell you, there was definitely no improvement. I believe the girl's a super athlete. I think she's proven that. She got to the Olympics. She could do it. Not only that, I mean, she's tough, man. She took a beating. She never even hit the floor. So, like, when you get a girl that tough, I mean, add a little head movement in, add something. What about some wrestling takedowns? Was there any change in anything? There's a picture with Nunes hitting, and Nunes has a nice little bend in the legs. The hands are up. Rousey straight up in the air, squared up. I mean, I don't know if it's not. I don't know if it's bad coaching. I don't want to attack the coach because I'm a coach, but
sure,
something is really wrong. That's all I'm saying. There is something. I think the mother alluded to it, and I think we talked about it last week. Is that stuff over with? But I could tell you the mother definitely thinks that. And I don't know what kind of relationship is going on there, but that was a bad scene. That was a really bad scene, man. And you're talking about a girl that really struggled after the first loss, and I don't give a shit. You have suicidal thoughts or something. All the money in the world doesn't mean a fucking thing to me. You know what I mean?
Right.
And that's the tragedy to me, is that people did make money off it. Look, it's the fight game, and that's what you're supposed to do. But I got to tell you, man, somebody's really got to talk to her. There's nothing good coming out of this. I would have loved to seen her grab that microphone after the fight and say, "Listen, sorry, man, I tried. Nunes was the fighter tonight. Just give me something. But she didn't even make an adjustment there. Forget about making an adjustment with the technical. Right. She didn't even make an adjustment there where she could have, I think, regrouped and won everybody over. Nobody, I watched the fight with people that were rooting for her. You know what I mean? It's not like people were against her. Right. I mean, if she would even have made that adjustment, I would have said, wow, well, good stuff. That's a start. But she stormed out of that ring, and then, I don't know. Somebody, I did and I'm not plugging the training day with Ray, but I did a thing last night with behavioral scientist Steve Maraboli, a good friend of mine. He said, Ray, if the girl can't answer a question before the fight or after the fight, how do you think she's going to deal with getting punched in the face? I mean, she's got to make a lot of adjustments. So I don't know if it's the training. Like, again, I don't know if it's, when you're at that level and, again, there's so much stuff thrown at you that you just got to go back to enjoying the process again and really love fighting. I mean, look at Garbrandt. So talk about that. That guy relished the moment. He took it. He got leg kicked. He did a push-up. That guy was having fun in there. Now, contrast to her after she got hit. So Garbrandt got hit. He decided to do a push-up and say, hey, this is a blast. She got hit, and it was, wow. I mean, you knew. I knew. And I think other people have said this, but I saw that first punch. That fight's over. The fight is over. It was. Yeah, go ahead.
So do you, I don't want to ask you if you think she's going to fight again because I know you probably don't know, but John Jones has suggested maybe aligning herself with a bigger camp and leaning on some of the camaraderie that comes with training with several other UFC fighters might be something that helps her going forward. I mean, we don't want to levy too much criticism at the coach because there's still a lot of unanswerable questions, but if you are in that Rousey inner circle and she heeds your advice, what is it?
Well, I got to tell you, first thing is you can't take another fight doing the same things you've been doing. That's 100% has to change. So whether it's going to another camp or it's just talking to a sports psychologist, but I do believe her mother. I don't know the lady at all, but she seems to have a pretty good grasp on what's going on, and she even said in the interview, sometimes daughters don't listen to their mothers, and that's 100% true because I have two daughters. But, she has an idea of, I think, she knows the Rousey before the UFC, and I think that's the girl she wants to see again. Right. You know what I mean? A girl that really enjoyed the process of focusing on a goal. You know what I mean? I think that's what she needs to do. Now, if she has to get other people around her to accomplish that, that's what she has to do. So, but I think her mom knows who she is, and I think it was really heartfelt, for her daughter, and I think that's what I grasped out of that article. But she's in another league now. This isn't pre-Olympics. This is, post-Olympics with Hollywood and TV commercials and a lot of money and, a lot of hanger-oners, people telling her what she does. I mean, let me tell you something, man. I've been, it's not like I'm talking from inexperience because, when Chris lost, man, I mean, it was devastating. It really was. It was devastating. But he's got such a great support system. Fighting isn't, the end-all, the be-all, or whatever to say. He's got great people, great family, great friends. He can go through that. You know what I mean? It's not a problem. But, and he's going to grab the mic. He was gracious in defeat. I think that's all part of being a champion is demonstrating those attributes that people love to see. And why she's not doing that, I don't know. Look, John, you're always great with me, even after a loss. Hey, do you feel like talking? No, I hate losing. I really don't want to talk. But you know what? I'm going to because I committed to doing something, and I know people want to hear it, and that's part of the game. If you think for an instance I want to be there, I 100% don't. Right. I mean, I think I'm getting better as I get older, but as a kid, I despised losing anything. It didn't matter. But you still have to do what you have to do. You can't win all the time. And I think this is the problem. She's so used to something that, with the winning, she's so caught up in that is who, what she believes defines who she is. And nobody gives a shit. They like, if they like you, they like you. Yeah. I mean, I hope she found out a lot of those, answers and, to some questions she had after the first loss, because every asshole in the world is going to come out and tell you what you should have did better. It's a horrible feeling. It really is. And she I think I just went off on a tangent, but I think she has to just go back to being who she was even before the Olympics, enjoy the process. Like, again, if she's got to get another team around her, then she's got to get another team around her. I don't think it has to be a big camp. I don't think it has to be a small camp, medium camp, but there has to be a change now. And she's got to really decide whether she really wants to fight again.
Yeah.
Hey, Ray,
does she enjoy it?